Alright, here's our video on discrete and continuous functions. So we know what functions are. Let's make a linear equation. Bring this up. Y equals mx plus b. We know that's a linear equation. The m's the slope, the b's the y-intercept. So if we have an equation, let's say we have y equals 2x plus 5. If we don't know the content behind this, we can plug in any value for x. And since we can plug in any value for x, it'll be continuous. So continuous functions can take any value in the set. Any value. So if it is continuous, you'll see a straight line that's not broken. It's a complete line. Every value you can put on this line of x. That's continuous. Now again, it's the content. We did this equation here, y equals 2x plus 5. We didn't know anything behind it. So if we don't know anything behind it, if there's no story behind it, we can put in any value for x. But if there is a story behind it, let's say we're talking about people in the class. The x is the people in the class. And whatever we're doing here, let's say the people in the class plus 5 gives us the amount of points we get at the store or wherever we are, at the zoo. So now if we're making x to be people in the class, then it's not continuous anymore, because you can't have 1.5 people or 2.5 people. So when there's people in the class, so let's put it again here. Let's say we had y equals 2x plus 5. If we're making x people in the class and y will be points, then x is discrete. It can't be all the values. It's a discrete. So discrete functions do not have all values. So with a discrete value, you'll have a broken line. You'll have just like that. There's no straight line on it. It's a straight line, but it's broken. It's not a continuous line. So again, let me just make sure you understand that. Discrete means we don't have a solid line. We just have certain values, like people in the class. Right? Discrete functions do not have all values. But if we are using all values, then it's continuous. And it'll be a solid line. So let's use an example here. Let's say Liam is saving money for a dirt bike. Okay, he has $60. I circled the 60 because that's the initial amount he has. And he's saving $24 a month. So as you can see, we have our linear equation here. M is the slope, B is the y-intercept. B, the y-intercept, is the initial amount, $60. And the slope is the rate of change, $24 a month. Okay, so here's our function. Now, do you think this is discrete or continuous? Look at the value of x. That's how you determine if it's discrete or continuous. He's only saving once a month. The month can only be integers. We're not saying he's saving every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. He's saving once a month. Every month he's going to put $24 in. So this is discrete, because the x can only be a 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. It can't be 1.5 months. It can't be 2.5 months. That's not how the function's laid out. So this would be discrete. So if it's discrete, you're going to have a broken line. Well, you're not going to have a solid line, that is. You're just going to have dots that represent each month. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and so forth. Now, in this case here, let's look at this graph. We know it's discrete, and we're using integers, 1, 2. So this has to be something that can't be broken, like people or tickets. Let's say one ticket costs $10. So here we have the cost is the y, and the ticket. You're buying one ticket. You're not going to buy 1.5 tickets. You're not going to go over to the ticket booth and say, I'll have 1.5 tickets. It just doesn't work that way. So one ticket is $10. 2 tickets is $20. This is discrete. So again, just to review, continuous functions take any value. With the tickets, it wasn't continuous. It was discrete. And if it's discrete, it only can take limited values. So always look at the x. The x will help you determine if it's discrete or continuous. Let's do one more. Let's say you're buying songs online, and they cost this function, whatever whatever this may be. So it looks like that you have to pay $20. Let's say it's a membership fee online, and you're paying $1.20 each song. Are you buying 1.5 songs? Are you buying 2.5 songs? No, you're only buying songs that are integers, right? 1 song, 2 songs, 3 songs. So in this case, x can only be certain values. It only could be 1 or 2 or 3 or million, whatever the case may be. It just can't be a fraction. So if x can't be fractions, this is discrete, not continuous. One more with continuous. We didn't do a continuous one. Well, let's do a famous formula that you should know. We'll have Fahrenheit, and let's say we have the Celsius, and we want to find Fahrenheit. This is the way you can convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. So if you're in Europe or Canada, and you want to know what the Fahrenheit is, because they don't use Fahrenheit in Europe and Canada, well, this is how we convert it. So here's a function. So f is y. This is our function. We're just using f and c. Now Celsius could be any value, right? It doesn't have to be an integer. It could be a fraction. It could be a decimal. And since c, in this case, c is x, could be any value, this is continuous. This will be a continuous function. So that's continuous and discrete. Great job.